Welcome to Big Bro's Corner. I'm a guest of Mr. Uncut. I want to thank you, sir, for letting me have this platform on your platform to just say what's on my mind, number one. I want to thank God for my existence, number one. Pause for that. He's done great things in my life, and I'm thankful for those things. Even the trials I've gone through have made me a better person. So thank you. Uh, my platform is just to express things on my mind. So I want to give Mr. Uncut thanks for letting me do that as a senior citizen in these United States of America. And I heard the platform of Mr. Platform, a video this morning about evolution. Somebody had come to him and tried to express stuff about evolution from a human standpoint. And Mr. Uncut knows that I'm in a combative mode about us as human beings, number one, and how we do things. And it always kind of irritates me when we as humans try and push out our beliefs and thoughts as being godlike. And I want to just put out there for general discussion that we need to humble ourselves more and realize that we are creations of God. You know, we did not create this planet, did not create the air, as Mr. Uncut said before. So try to humble ourselves. We don't have to know everything in the world about how things became. Just appreciate your being here right now in the moment. It's my message to you all right now. The world's a mess right now, as we all know, but it's always been a mess. It's the way it is. And it's not a place to have heaven on earth. So don't think that in your life there should be no pain, no sorrow, no suffering. We're not here for that purpose to just enjoy life. I don't know why. You know, you all ask God on your own time, but to understand that we're here for a purpose. Again, I don't fully understand the purpose of my life and your life, but we're here for a purpose. And it's not to promote this planet as being heaven on earth and promote ourselves as being all perfect and all knowing. We're not that. So just humble ourselves, realize that it's out of our control a lot of things. Do the best you can. Doesn't work out, doesn't work out. But today I'm saying in this world, there's a lot of distractions out there. They'll take you away from your spiritual journey. Understand that, it's a battle to get you to think about things from a human standpoint all the time. So realize that that's the struggle. It's up to you to combat all the distractions and keep yourself focused on what's important. So it's hard to do, but every day, get yourself focused on what's important in life, and the distractions are not always what's important. It's hard to do, but get yourself grounded spiritually in the morning time and in the evening time, realize what's important. And that's my rant for the day, Mr. Uncut. Back to you, sir.
Big bro, as always, thank you for having me. Thank you for entertaining, my how can I put this? My ideologies, my theologies, Thank you for entertaining my opinions. Um, Big bro, as I grow into my newfound love for socializing with, people outside of my inner circle. I was once a hermit crab, I started getting out a lot more. But once I've blossomed in holding different dialogues and I've learned, to just agree to disagree. Man, I am excuse the term, but I never thought I used this term before, but I am just flabbergasted by the concepts and the ideology that some people are exercising are actually regurgitating without being able to explain it. No one can explain evolution. Okay, they're going to tell you science and they're going to tell you atheists. There's no man in the sky that's looking down upon us. He wouldn't take us through this hell, blah, blah, blah. What type of God would do this? What type of God would do that? And that's supposed to explain how this planet got here, how these trees got here, how, humans are able to reproduce. When I read in the Bible, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was without form. you know, that's more of a breakdown to me in substance than someone telling me, listen, all these meteorites and big rocks and boulders clashed and all these living particles splattered everywhere and boom, all of that. No, man. No. You're not talking to a dummy. You know what I'm saying? You're definitely not talking to an unbeliever. I once was an unbeliever. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Ain't God good? You know, I give God that glory. Sometimes you have to go through things. And lots of times before we speak on certain ideologies, theologies, doctrines, you know, opinions, we should really take time to do our due diligence in studying and doing that research and having an open mind because that's what the world is missing here, big bro. You know, that's that took me to a dark place to have that conversation with someone and then that someone who doesn't look like me to tell me that all forms of life came through Africa. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? All forms of life started in Africa. Is that your way of disclaiming your own culture and clinging to another? Are we going to whitewash history this way? Are we going to keep passing down and regurgitating this trash rather than doing research and passing on the truth? It really doesn't matter where any of us are from. What matters is the God we carry on the inside. You see what I'm saying? The random acts of kindness and love that we exemplify to one another. The unification. That's what speaks volumes about humanity. But at least tell the truth because even in the Bible it says that we shall be scattered among many nations and we shall speak many different tongues. So why even put a rumor out there that we all came from one or no, some came from here, indigenous people, along with indigenous resources that the world fought for, that Christian wars and the Roman Catholic Church just had to get their hands on. You know, tell the story the way that the story is. And that's what I'm gonna give to you right now, big bro. I'm gonna give you the floor back.
Thank you, sir. And I've come to realize there's a lot of bad things going on in the world, and I don't know why God allows that to happen. Again, somebody has a direct line with God, you can ask him for me and have him give me a call and explain to me why these things happen. But a lot of things are done by humans that were made by humans, these systems. Humans have created the system where we have layers of importance. You know, you got to have somebody on the top, you know, who's in charge, who dictates to other people what they should do and how they should act. That's a human system that was made to place certain people in the high positions over others and to place the ones below them in subordinate type positions. So that's where racism came from, discrimination, those kind of creations where people decide to make myself important. I'm going to put these people here down based on their skin color is one example, based on economics. You don't make enough money than somebody else. So that's a human system. So understand that people that God didn't make those systems, he gave us free will and we lost our damn mind and created all these wild systems out here that put, you know, people into stressful situations and create layers of importance, you know, layers of pain. So I've come to realize that you can't blame God for everything. He let us do stuff that was stupid, yeah, but that's our free will. We can always go back and change things if we wanted to, but it's never going to happen, which we know. But I just learned that to accept what's out there and to accept every person that's being different and try not to really categorize them by their skin color, their economics, whatever, but talk to them first, see what they say, see what they think, then they'll show you who they are. So that's my new approach is to try to listen, understand, maybe their background, it's not like mine. So that's why they think that way. So I'm not going to condemn them. I'm going to listen and figure out, okay, wonder why he's thinking that or she's thinking that. but their background would tell me why they think that. So I'm trying to still grow as I get older. But now I think, like you're saying, to listen to people, what they say, and you understand where they came from. So again, focus on what they're saying and don't get upset about what they're saying. Back at you, sir.
Okay. There's nothing worse than listening to someone you know is very brilliant, very intellectual, someone who's had decorated a decorated life, someone who's known a lot, seen a lot, traveled a lot, learned a lot. There's nothing worse than listening to the brilliance of this person and getting absolutely nothing but dumbed down material from them, if that makes any sense. I also had to speak with, a brother about choices. And you know what came up? First thing he said was, well, people are born gay. Look, my man, I can coexist with anyone. And your decision to live your life, however, what lifestyle you choose to live it in, doing what with who is your business. But one thing I'm going to always do is defend common sense. You know, being born black was a decision. That's not a choice. Being born to a poor family was a choice. I mean, a decision. Not it wasn't even my decision. It's just something divine. It's something that God put there to happen. Okay, so I don't mess this up. All right. Being born with one arm longer than the other. That deformity. Okay, that's how God made you. No one is born gay. The brother told me that people are born attracted to the same sex gender. How? Explain that. If you were born gay, if a little boy is born gay, upon birth, why is he looking for his mother's nipple for milk and not the father? Can someone explain that to me? I know it may not be the best example, but I think you get the dynamics of what I mean. If you are born gay, if gay is not a choice, it's how you're born, then why aren't you looking for why aren't you looking for the chest plate of the father? Someone should have to teach you, no, this is a woman, you get milk from the woman. If you're born gay, it's a choice you make at some point in life. Like you choose to be a Christian, you choose to be a Catholic, you choose to run for president, you choose to put on black today. We chose to Zoom today. That is a choice. Being broke can be considered a choice. Once you grow up, it can be a decision for you to be born into a poor, oppressed, paralyzed family. But it can be your choice, your decision to break those chains, become educated. You see what I'm saying? And not be economically oppressed anymore in your adulthood after your adolescent phase. So the way that people put things out there, regurgitate it for other people to interpret it, this is what's wrong with the world, my dude. This is what's wrong with the world, big bro. This is what's wrong with the world. Everybody wants to fit in. Everyone has an opinion, but you can't validate your opinion. You can't base it on any facts. It's like wet toilet paper is no good. You got the floor, big bro.
And let me follow up on the topic of choices. We as human beings, we make choices every day, that affect our lives and other folks' lives too. So we need to take accountability for those choices. Some are good choices and some impact us in negative fashion and turn out hurt others in our family also. So realize, like you're saying, somebody says they are gay, that is a choice of theirs to live their lifestyle. Are they being forced to think that way? I don't know. Are there evil spirits telling them to be gay? I have no idea. But in today's environment, it's a lot of people out there making a choice to have a gay lifestyle. They never felt gay before, but they have come to want to try it out. I saw this TV show the other day, which I stopped watching. I won't say the name of the show, but it featured a scene with two black men having sex, and it's a popular show on Showtime now. And I wondered, why are they showing this scene? What's the purpose of this? And there was another scene with another a lesbian couple. They were showing that, but I was trying to figure out. It's supposed to be an all black cast, so that kind of like I thought, why is this a black TV show, black characters showing these lifestyles going on? Are they trying to tell us that we should be that way as black people? They had more gay characters than straight characters. And I thought to myself, now, what are they trying to put out there? Yeah. So watch, be careful about some of the shows we watch out there. I'll stop watching that show. I just had enough of that lifestyle being forced out of me to watch these things. I just told my wife, that's it, I'm done. But again, we make these choices about also, it's been in the past 5 years about being non-binary, that you're going to decide if you're female or male. you know, and I checked the Bible out, and God did not create, He created man and woman, not non-binary category to say, can you decide what you want to be? That is another human stupid trick, I call it, to we decide, we think we're deciding that we are going to be human male or human female, but when you're born with genitals of a female or a male, then that is your category. So, we just kind of get outrageous in our thinking sometimes that we have all kind of rights to decide all kind of crazy things. So I'm amazed at what we're doing, but that's what we are. We have these free choices, and we make some bad ones, and those categories to me are bad choices and lifestyles. Yours, sir.
I want to start my rebuttal off like this, big bro. It's hard to talk to people like us about us and the decisions we should be making and about our history. But you know what's even harder? To talk to those who don't look like us about us, our decisions, and our history. Because they want to tell you your history. I've had someone tell me upon reading the Abraham Lincoln statement, about him not really wanting to free the slaves, you know, and we said the word Negro. Can we refrain from saying that word, please? That's not what we are. That's not what we like to be called. His response was, "There's nothing wrong with the word Negro." And then I had to get black for a minute. Excuse me, but if you ain't never been black, if you ain't never been called these things, if you ain't never been hated, oppressed, lynched, hung, no nothing, if you ain't lost no ancestors, how the hell can you tell somebody how they should take something that you say just to justify you being able to say it without repercussions? You understand what I'm saying, big bro? It's like, so at that point, it became like a damn you moment. Like, you're not gonna do this to me, homie. I'm not one of those guys. You see what I'm saying? Now, this is my brother. The conversation didn't turn bad or anything. Like, he's a great brother. But, you know, when you think you know something and you want to beat somebody talking because, you look like those who once colonized America and colonized other places, and you feel like you're superior and you feel like other people are inferior, then they'll overtalk you. They don't want to speak with a black man who's got brains, who knows, who studies history. So I had to explain to this brother, look, you can't call me African American, you can't call me a colored person, you can't call me the N-word, and you can't call me Negro. I said, I don't use the terms myself. Therefore, if anyone who even looks like me uses the term at me, I'm equally upset with them as well. So it's not just a colorization thing. Then we go on to tell me that the word means ignorant. No, it does not mean ignorant. The word describes black. It describes black. But who made that description of a black man? Who made that description? Who wrote that dictionary? So this world is in dire need of education. It's in dire need of deprogramming and reprogramming. There is no way that we all have the fear of God and we all have the love and passion and concern to walk upright by God's doctrine. But we all feel this way about each other just to maintain control of another or to belittle another. We can't understand how certain people feel and respect that in order to unify, in order to bridge a gap. If someone tells me, like, I used to be one of those type of people that walk around instead of saying Arab, I used to say Arab. Then I learned it was very disrespectful to pronounce it that way. And you know who I learned it from? An Arab. See how I just pronounced it? I didn't see anything wrong with him educating me because I'm not here to offend you. So thank you. Thank you. And that's what that conversation should have been rather than you trying to push your point home and tell me there's nothing wrong with the word. You're not black. You've never had nobody in your family killed because of your skin color. You've never had anyone in your family walk up to your brother and say, "Ooh, I know what I'm finna do with this gun. I'm finna shoot me." And right there in Clearwater, Florida, growing up, my mom had to intervene. So you don't know what it's like in order to tell someone who is demigrated by those adjectives to say, "Hey, nothing's wrong with that word." Listen, you don't have to look across the street 3 times before you cross. You don't have to make eye contact. You can walk right out of that Walmart supermarket and walk right across that street out of the store without looking, without being worried about getting hit. I can't do that. So I think that this is trying to bridge a gap. I didn't know this conversation was going to go this way, but I'm doing this for educational purposes. You see what I'm saying? I'm doing it for educational purposes. If we all have the love of God, if we are all built by the same creator, if we are the work and the craftiness of his hands, why do we have such hate and disdain for one another? You got the floor, big bro.
Thank you, sir. If we all would wake up every morning and just admit that we were created many years ago by God and that we're all brothers and sisters, we'd be fine. But the distractions of the world don't allow us to do that, because we've made these systems again in the world that, well, one of those is that based on your skin color, yes, the color of your skin, you should be subordinate to somebody with a lighter skin color. Now, think about that. That is one of the most dumbest, stupidest ideas we have made as human beings to decide that based on skin color, that decides who we are and how important we are. That's ridiculous. But sometime in this world's history, we got together and decided that skin color would define the value of us as human beings. Think about that, skin color, whether it's brown or light skin or yellow skin or what. That is just one of the biggest stupid human tricks I've ever heard about in my life. It's just ridiculous when you think about it. You're talking about skin color. To paraphrase Allen Iverson, we're talking about skin color. Skin color decides if you're intelligent or not. Skin color decides, you have brains or no brains. That is ridiculous. Do you hear what we're saying to each other? So wake up. You know, Skin color is not the ingredient to how our intelligence. Okay, so get off of that bandwagon. Whatever your family's taught you about people with dark skin, forget that. Don't go by that. Talk to us one on one. Know who we are. That's the defining thing. But skin color, come on. So people, we got to wake up and make better choices. You know, think for ourselves. Don't let education in these so-called schools, tell us what is right, because there tells a lot of lies out there about people and stuff. So, the books don't cover everybody's culture. Come on. In this country, no way. It talks about European American culture primarily, but is there anything about Black culture outside this country in those books where we came from? That is on purpose, okay? We're trying to be taught, they're trying to teach us things, keep us in a box. control our minds about here's what's important to you, and you get a degree if you believe these things. So understand that the system is very good. I give them credit. They've done a great job all these years to mold our minds to say think this way, and that if you're this color, that color, here are your traits as a human being. Don't believe that, people. Think for yourselves. You got it, sir.
Okay, first off, big bro, hey, I love Big Bro's corner. I love Big Bro's backup. Hey, that's my big bro right there. Hey, my big bro killed it with the AI reference. That was everything. Hey, you drove it home. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. That was a moment, but that's a highlighted moment right there. Hey, my big bro Arnell killed that right there. You know what I'm saying? I love that. And you drove that home. All right. Secondly, since we're talking about color, my baby's about to leave. Bend down, bend down, bend down the camera. My baby's about to get in the camera. My baby's about to leave. So you have your good trip. And see, to America, she will look black. And there's no black in her. No black in her at all. You know, she's beautiful, but she ain't black. Have a good trip. Thank you.
Love you.
All right. So my thing is this. Of all the things that we could be doing to actually help one another, it seems like we're stuck trying to be better than each other by race, by culture, economically. You know, it's all about competition. Someone's going to finish first, someone's definitely going to finish last. All right. And the way you drove it home with the AI reference, big bro, like, honestly, that was everything. That was brilliant. That was brilliant. That was like brilliant. We have to do better in educating ourselves, self-education. And like I said earlier, we have to deprogram and reprogram because, like it or not, this country was built and based on a lie. It was built and based on racism. It was built and based on superior versus inferior, and not really just among races. Sometimes they did it within the race. We all are familiar with the William Lynch letter of 1712. I've had some brothers tell me, not white brothers, I call everybody brothers, but I've had some Caucasian brothers tell me, how did this go? What did he say? What did he say? What did he say? I just lost my train of thought. The William Lynch said, oh, that everyone were slaves. You do know that everybody was slaves at one point in time. I say, well, you do know that the proper term is called indentured service, and some people worked for a number of years and they was promised things, and that's why you see certain people working for the post office. That's why certain people are in law enforcement. That's why certain people are firemen. That's why certain people are paramedics. It was giving back reparation-wise, indentured service. I say, you do know that America's highest paid debt was what they owe in reparations, right? And black slaves were the only ones out of everyone that you can name who has never received any reparations. So I believe that we have a right to be upset, and we have a right to deem the whole act of slavery to be prejudiced and inhumane. Everyone else got some type of compensation. We didn't. And the William Lynch letter I referred to was written in order to teach slave masters how to make us, our ancestors, hate each other. If one is smarter than the other, turn him against that one. If one is taller than the other, turn him against the short one. If one is more athletic than the other, turn him against the one that's less athletic. If one is fat, if one is skinny, if one is light, if one is dark, if one is strong, if one is weak. That whole thing was designed to set us back 300 years within our race against each other. And like Kwame Brown said, I haven't heard a black man go get a gun yet and say, boy, I wish somebody would try me. First thing they said, well, I wish it would try me. I'm gonna blow their brains out because that's how we're programmed. But you don't hear them running around here saying, "Man, I wish a white boy would try me, man." You know, I wish one of them Satanists, one of them KKK white boys would try me, man, because I don't want none of my white brothers and sisters get offended with what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? Like they are my brothers and sisters. I'm talking about the ones that's not equally yoked in understanding. The ones who have that 1776 mentality and don't know that we were helping before 1776 and after 1776. Crispus Attucks, the Revolutionary War, black man mixed with Latino, first one killed, first one in the battle zone. Every single war. So you're not talking to a dummy. You're not talking to a dummy, but they want to perceive us as dummies. Now, I'm gonna hit on this and I'm gonna give you this back because you know I got to be goofy. You got me in the goofy mood with the whole Allen Iverson thing, so I got to be goofy for a minute. Big bro, I noticed on Juneteenth that not only black people wasn't telling each other Happy Juneteenth, but you know our white brothers and sisters, our counterparts knew what it was. Some knew, some didn't. You know, out of respect, I'm saying this. Out of respect, not prejudice, not down on anyone. I'm actually gonna be funny with this. So I'm not trying to, you know, that's just my disclaimer right now. I'm not here to hurt anyone. Y'all know I'm full of crap sometimes. Okay. So should we be offended that our white brothers and sisters don't tell us Happy Juneteenth? Happy you not getting hung anymore.
Yes, sir. I thought about that on Juneteenth because you know where I'm at now is mostly not folks like me. And I thought to myself, I wonder if somebody's going to come up to me and say Happy Juneteenth. Well, nobody did. So I didn't get offended. I just said, well, I want to. Are they thinking that they might make me, I don't know, angry or they might offend me by saying that? I don't know. But I thought about that, man, that nobody of the other persuasion said, Arnell, Happy Juneteenth to you and your whole family, you know? So you know, that's kind of deep, man. You think about it. How does a white person feel, you know, about that? Really? Will they see us come up to us and say, "Oh, Happy Juneteenth! I'm so glad y'all got saved way back then." You know? So I
It'll
don't
be
know,
like one
man.
of the Purge movies, man. They'll walk up to you, Happy Juneteenth, and all you
Yeah,
can imagine is all your ancestors being purged. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
yeah,
so I get it. I understand. I just had to
yeah,
be goofy with it real
yeah.
quick. I had to
But
be goofy with it
no,
because, like, if I was another race, I don't think I'd walk up to a black person either and say Happy Juneteenth.
that's a tough one, man. You know, how would you take that? You know, if they were smiling too, you know, Happy Juneteenth. You know, I don't know, man. If I could have taken that well, so I don't know. That's just kind of deep, you know. If they were sad, you know, said, you know, I'm so sorry about what happened. If anybody in my family did that stuff to your people, I'm sorry. I would take it better, but to come up to me and smile, I don't know, man. But that's a good point you raised, though, you know. So thank you for that. But I do want to close with this story about American history. Here's what I would tell kids in school that you know, long time ago there were people in this country already here, Native Americans, who lived from coast to coast, you know. And then one year, European Americans started coming over here, and more came, and they began to take over the land, and they kind of made these deals with people, the Indians at that time, Native Americans, excuse me, to trade things for the land. Then they forced some others off the land, and then they brought diseases that killed off Native Americans in this country quite a bit. And finally, they just forced them out through a military intervention because they realized that this land was great. You know, this country was great. So that was part one. Then part two is that they realized, hey, this is a big country and it's hard to make this build up. So it's too hard for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to take people over in Africa, enslave them, bring them here, and do the hard work for us. You know, and that was the system here in this country for a long time. the best they could do is to enslave other people to do the hard work for them in this country, to build the buildings up, the roads, and everything. So think about that. If I was of that persuasion, I wouldn't feel proud about had to enslave other people to do all the hard work to build this country up. That to me is shameful. And but that's the real history. In some governors of various states realize that that's just the way it was. That was a system that was made to help European Americans build this country up, to enslave others and make them do the work. And that's my 101 history lesson for today. Thank you, sir.
Okay, and thank you, big bro, and thank you as always. Um, Here's what I have to say to that. What you said made great sense, and we see the evidence of slavery. We know that that's one thing that history can't whitewash. You can stop talking about it. You can rename it other things. You can say that hey, everyone was slaves. Not true. Most were indentured servants. Okay, the only people who went through about as worse as what we went through, and I want to be careful how I word this. I don't think as many died as we did, but horrific. If we're speaking tragedy, if we're speaking like horrific, uh, um, basically the Jewish community, the Holocaust. You know, I think they would be the only ones fine tuned enough to say that, hey, I stand with those brothers, or I understand those brothers, and we should understand them too, based on what they went through. Because I mean, what reparations did they receive? If I'm missing it, maybe I missed that memo. You know what I'm saying? What reparations did they receive? Because this world is still pretty hateful and anti-Semitic towards them as well. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, the Bible even speaks of Jesus being born King of the Jews, and the Jewish community hated him. He was outcasted. He was shunned. So here's what I have to say to that, big bro. If we're all God-fearing people, if we're all here to exercise God's number one rule, which is love, then why can't we just tell the truth, deal with it, and get past it? Why do we have to wallow in humility? Why do some have to wallow in oppression? Why do some have to be profiled, murdered, belittled, shunned, deemed inferior? Why can't we get past all of that? Why must we watch other people constantly, spend in generational wealth what would be valued to us as reparations? Why can't we just tell the truth, own it, and get past it? Do something about it and get past it. In certain states, now I heard you mention governors. There's about 2 or 3 states that's paying reparations now. That's paying reparations. And that's a great start. But if you're expecting that to happen here with DeSantis, no, sir, buddy. No, sir, buddy. He said we learned trades from being slaves. He said we picked up trades. He said that and then tried to deny saying it when he was running for president. But he said that. He said he will not pay reparations because he feel like it taught us trades. Are you kidding me? See, this is what I mean by whitewashing history. You don't have to be, if you wasn't ashamed then, don't be ashamed now. Because the first thing you'll say is, I never owned a slave. Well, if you never owned a slave, then why are you afraid to tell the truth about the history? You know why? Because it still links to your family, to your ancestors, to your lineage. You understand what I'm saying? To your lineage. And this whole thing about Africa and slavery and black soul blacks, for once, let's tell the truth about the history. Let's talk about how the Roman Catholic Church, they pulled up in Israel. You know, Israelites look just like you and I, big bro. I don't know if you've seen an Israelite. I've Googled many Israelites. Never been there, so I have to travel through Google. Google is my passport. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, they look like you and I. Hebrew Israelites. Israelites look just like you and I. Not the Africans, the Israelites. So, upon them pulling up at the start of this religious war, to make everyone a Christian. And if you wasn't a Christian, you was beheaded and you were enslaved and all this. They did it to the Arabs and everything. Even the Arabs had slaves, my dude. You know what I'm saying? Even the Arabs played a part in the slave trade. Let's be real about it. These Israelites fled Israel and all the inner cities that were being invaded. And they landed on the coast of Africa in places like Morocco and stuff like that. Okay. So by the time this slave ship made it to the coast of Africa, they wasn't coming to enslave the Africans. They couldn't mess with those tribes. They couldn't mess with those tribes. I don't care how many guns they had. Listen, those tribes fight lions. You think they worried about you? Let's be 100. They were looking for the ones who fled Israel and landed over here. They're the ones we're after. And we heard they were here. So if we give you this and promise you that, will you tell us where we could find those people who are dark just like you but don't look like you? Sure, I'll tell you where they are, because you know what? It's causing an influx in our population here. It's not our culture, although they look like us. The difference between a Mexican and a Puerto Rican, the difference between a Jamaican and a Haitian. You see where I'm going with the same difference between an African and an Israelite. All right. All these wars took place in the Middle East. It's still in the Bible, big bro. It's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. So yes, they gave us up. They just now came out like in 2015, I believe it was, or 2017, in Ghana, and some of the EFF, the Eastern Freedom Fighters, they came out and they apologized to all American Black people for basically like putting us into slavery. That's them admitting that they knew that we're not even African. So why are you calling me African American? I just gave you the history. Why can't they do that? Because it starts with them admitting that they pulled up as colonizers. They pulled up threatening war to push religion. A religion now who started. A religion now who changed. Because last time I checked, Revelations 1 told me he had a hair of wool, a voice of many waters, bronze skin as if burned in a fiery furnace. Where did this white Jesus son God come from, my G? And had he looked the way they depicted him to look right now as white Jesus, walking in the Middle East, or even in Africa, somewhere in Egypt, as the Bible talks about Egypt a lot, he would have stuck out like a sore thumb with somebody like King Herod or King Pilate looking for him. I forget which king it was killing all the babies. You know what I'm saying? I forget which one. Was it King Pilate? King Herod? One of the two.
Herod.
Okay, King Herod. That sent the order to kill all babies 2 years old and younger, because they heard that Jesus was born into the Jews and he was a true, king of the Jews. How are you going to hide if everyone else is melanated due to it being very hot here? How are you going to hide? What type of sunscreen were you wearing? So this is my problem. Tell the truth and deal with it. This lets us know that the religious aspect was plagiarized. Religious. Spiritually, God is in all of us, my man. Spiritually, God is a spirit. We should worship him in spirit and in truth, like his word says. That's my take on it.
Well, thank you. And what we just heard was real education that you will not get, at least in public schools. So understand that. And sometimes it's a shame we had to, but you may have to do your own research outside of public schools to find out the truth, okay? Because what's taught in the schools is designed to make you think a certain way, a certain path. So understand that what you heard Mr. Uncut say was, actual, truth. It's just unfiltered. So you got to understand that and think for yourself sometimes. Just ask questions, call time out, and you're not being rebellious, okay? If you ask questions, okay, you're just thinking for yourself. You have a brain to utilize. And before I close this out, Mr. Uncut, any other thoughts about anything before I close this out, sir?
Actually, yes. I want to touch on one more thing you said. It was something very important that you said. You said you were watching a movie. You weren't going to name the name of it, but they were pushing an agenda. You said something about two black men. Let me touch on that. I'll try to be as brief as possible. Now, a lot of people don't understand what the fight against the whole lifestyle, the pushing of the agenda is about. The fight isn't against the lifestyle, it's about the pushing of the agenda of the lifestyle. Traditional and God fearing versus keeping up with the trend. What someone wants you to do, what someone wants you to be, what someone prefers you to do. Okay. Now let's look at why they would prefer this, why they're pushing this, and why we're making a spectacle of scenes like this in movies. Because I walked in on my baby watching a movie called The Boys or Them Boys or something, where someone had superpowers or something. And this guy had cloned himself like 6 times. These people follow him, somewhere, like they had him under surveillance. And they walked into a locker room. He then took off his clothes. There was other clothes there. They opened the door. He's in a sauna, and all 6 of him that he has cloned are in a straight line doing you know what to each other, and these are all white men. And I'm thinking, hey, what the heck are you watching? She's like, I didn't know this was in here. It's just a movie called The Boys. I never expected this. Here's why they're pushing it. If we are reproducing at a higher rate than they are, then some can. And I'm not trying to sound racist, I'm giving facts. That's why some places have abortion clinics, some places have fertility clinics. Okay. I'm just being real, I'm being open. Okay. I'm being open, not here to offend anyone. All right. If they want to slow down your reproduction, like Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood, who considered us a pestilence, who just wanted us exterminated at all costs, who wanted our women sterilized. If you want to remain the majority, then what message are you going to push to the people who populate the earth at a faster rate than you, whether it's black and or brown? If we can't lock them up and incarcerate them in mass numbers, then the next best thing to do is what? Push the gay agenda because they can't reproduce. They can't reproduce. Let me say it again. If we want to cut down the mass reproduction generation of these people, this culture, black and or brown, then what should we do? If they are tired of us pushing abortions, they done outlawed abortions. If we can't sterilize them now and they come in for regular checkups and these C-sections, if we, what I'm saying, then the next best thing to do consciously in hopes that they're not smart and brilliant enough to figure it out is push the gay agenda. And then they'll tell you love. They're going to use God's #1 rule, love. That's what the gay agenda is built on, love. God is built on love. You see what I'm saying? But they're only loving because they're not seeing you reproduce and possibly become the majority. It's to stop you, black people, brown people, from reproducing at such a massive rate, a quicker rate. They can't do that. We have big families. Big families. They don't. And I'm not here. I like we're speaking genetics here. I love everybody. I don't want no one to mistake my words because everyone is my brother. Everyone is my sister. Mr. Uncut gonna beat up for anybody, regardless of the skin color, regardless of your religious beliefs, regardless of your mistakes, because we're all human, we're all imperfect. I'm just trying to drive the truth home. And sometimes it's hard to tell the truth because people are gonna want to title you and label you something you're not to make you scared to speak the truth, big bro. But that's where I come in, being unapologetic and being Mr. Uncut Consciousness. So that's my take, big bro.
What you said is deep, sir, and it definitely makes sense. People with money have been making these TV shows and movies like this, and I'll give the audience a clue. It's a Showtime series that begins with the letter C. It's just 3 letters, so that's the show I'm talking about. So it just has gotten outrageous, and from what you're saying, I understand what they're doing. It definitely puts into your mind these thoughts about, go that route instead of the natural route. And I recall back in the old days, we used to have large families, 10 plus children in families and everything, and called the glory days of us as people here. So that it makes sense. If you go into that lifestyle, you stop creating new people. So it makes sense to me. And I'll just close with this. I've learned to appreciate Mr. Kobe Bryant like you have, and I watch his videos and hear him speak sometime. And the man put in the work. He devoted his life, pretty much to becoming the best he could be. And that's I think the message for all of us. We've got to do the work. We have natural skills. You've got to put the work in to make those skills better and better and better. So you're number one in your craft. So if you have natural skills that you know about, people invest in yourself. You can become the greatest person that you want to be using your own skills. So don't go by the world's definition of what is great, but whatever skill you have, do like Kobe, put in the work, have that mama mentality, work hard like he did. Well, thank you, sir, for this platform, for being here, for your audience, support and subscribe to this platform. And I will see you next weekend, sir.
Yes, sir. You got it. I am gonna have to start working the weekends, but I should be home probably no later than 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. That's just for Saturday. I'm never gonna work on a Sunday. Never.
Yes, sir.
But this weekend coming, and thank you for referencing, Kobe, and that's why you see Kobe all over my living room. A lot of people just think I idolize this man or I'm obsessed with. I do love the basketball talent, the giftedness of him. But what really turned me on to Kobe Bryant was his brilliance and the fight that he had in him. Kobe Bryant spoke like 9 different languages.
Yeah.
The Lakers team is made up of every different culture you can name. You know what I'm saying? From every different country. And he was able to communicate with all teammates in their natural tone,
Yeah.
from his natural tone. Kobe put in that work. He represented diversity. He represented change. He represented what can happen if you set your mind to achieving something, no matter what someone says or thinks about you. And Vanessa Bryant represented something too, because when he got caught up in that Colorado thing, I don't even like to talk about it, but it was part of his history. When he got caught up cheating on her, she's still by his side to this day, and the brother not even here no more. Love to the Mamba, love to Vanessa. Real talk. That's real talk. Kobe represents that, my man.
Until next time, as you would say, Ashe.
Ashe.